What did Chelsea Manning really reveal? Well, let's go to Counterpunch for this. This is an article written by Bradley Manning Support Network, so no person. And the article starts off with something great. I love this. It's Executive Order 13526, Section 17, Classification, Prohibitions, and Limitations. Quote, in no case shall information be classified in order to conceal violations of law, inefficiency, or administrative error. So you can't classify something to cover up your screw-ups or your criminality. You can't, in the government, you can't classify stuff to cover up criminality or your incompetence. Prevent embarrassment to a person, organization, or agency, or prevent or delay the release of information that does not require protection in the interest of national security. So those are all the reasons why you can't classify something. And that's Executive Order 13526, Section 1.7, Classification, Prohibitions, and Limitations. And then the next thing in that article, which I love, it's a quote from Robert Gates, who was the United States Secretary of Defense when they got Chelsea Manning. And he said, is this embarrassing? Meaning what Chelsea Manning revealed. Is this embarrassing? Yes. Is this awkward? Yes. Consequences for U.S. foreign policy? I think fairly modest. No consequences. Really? I thought that Chelsea Manning revealed a lot of malfeasance inside of our war program. Well, this is what Chelsea Manning revealed. One of the things Chelsea revealed with WikiLeaks was that there is an official policy to ignore torture in Iraq. That was revealed. Chelsea Manning revealed that about our government, that there is an official policy to ignore torture in Iraq, officially. The Iraq war logs, that's what they're called, published by WikiLeaks, revealed that thousands of reports of prisoner abuse, thousands of reports of prisoner abuse and torture had been filed against the Iraqi security forces. Medical evidence detailed how prisoners had been whipped with heavy cables across the feet, hung from ceiling hooks. Imagine you're the person who does that to another person. You don't know that person. You don't know who they are. You don't even speak their language. You don't even know anything. You don't know whose son, daughter, father. You don't know who that person is. And you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hang you upside down and hit you with a cable on the bottom of your feet. I'm going to do that. What? Yeah, that's what we do. I'm going to do that today. I'm going to go into your cell. I'm going to hit you on the bottom of your feet with... Why? That's because I can. Suffered holes being bored into their legs with electrical drills. So they would drill holes in people's legs. This is the United States. This is not Nazi Germany. This is not a concentration camp. This is the United States doing this.
And people were trained to do it.
People were trained to do it, paid. They urinated on them, and they sexually assaulted them. What didn't they do? Is there anything left? We know they anally force-fed them. These logs also revealed the existence of Frago 242. What's that, Jimmy? Frago 242 is an order implemented in 2004 not to investigate allegations of abuse against the Iraqi government. That was an order. So that's what he also... So it was official policy of the United States. It was an order not to investigate allegations of abuse against the Iraqi government. Don't you think someone should be prosecuted? Shouldn't we have an investigation about that? Shouldn't Congress have an investigation about that? I mean, if we're going to investigate Russia and investigate Trump, and shouldn't we have an investigation about that? No. This order is a direct violation of the UN Convention Against Torture, which was ratified by the United States in 1994. The convention prohibits the armed forces from transferring a detainee to other countries where there are substantial grounds for believing that he would be in danger of being subject to torture. That was our program. Our program was to take people, kidnap them, put them on a plane, and send them to Egypt so they could get tortured. That was our program. And we'd send them to Bagram, where we had black ops sites. We'd torture them there. And we'd send them to Cuba, where we'd torture them there. That was our program. So we're war criming all over the place. Chelsea Manning's revealing it. And what do you got to do? You got to torture that guy. You got to torture that guy who revealed that stuff, because that's bad. He's a bad person. According to the State Department's own reports, the U.S. government was already aware that the Iraqi security forces engaged in torture. Like, we couldn't be worse. We didn't even prosecute these people, and everyone knows what they did. But who do we prosecute? The guy who told you about what they did. You know why? Because we're a nation of adult children of alcoholics. That's what America is. We don't get mad at the guy who screwed you over. We get mad at the guy who pointed out and let you know about the guy screwing you over. U.S. defense contractors were brought under much tighter supervision after leaked diplomatic cables revealed that they had been complicit in child trafficking activities. What? U.S. defense contractors were doing some child trafficking? Because is there anything scummier in the world that we could be a part of? We're illegally invading other countries. We're ordering torture of fucking innocent people to cover it up. And we're trafficking children. All so we can make fucking money. DynCorp, a powerful defense contracting firm that claims almost $2 billion per year in revenue from the U.S. tax dollars, threw a party for Afghan security recruits featuring boys purchased from child traffickers for entertainment. This is what we do. In Afghan, we're over there doing this in Afghanistan. Right? We're exporting our values. DynCorp, get this, had already faced trafficking charges before this incident took place. Doesn't matter. You're a defense contractor. There's a couple of $1 billion. Who gives a F? Come on. According to the cables, Afghan Interior Minister Hanif Atmar urged the assistant U.S. ambassador to quash the story. There's another thing that Chelsea Manning revealed, that Guantanamo prison held mostly innocent people and low-level operatives. The Guantanamo files describe how detainees were arrested based on what the New York Times referred to as a highly subjective evidence. For example, some poor farmers were captured after they were found wearing a common watch or a jacket that was the same as those worn by al-Qaeda operatives. How quickly innocent prisoners were released was heavily dependent on their country of origin. Because the evidence collected against Guantanamo prisoners is not permissible in U.S. courts, the U.S. State Department has offered millions of dollars to other countries to take and try our prisoners. So there's no standard we won't sink below as Americans. So this whole idea that someone else is worse than us is fucking bullshit. Other people, when they do terrorism, they're doing it because they're fucking desperate. Because we probably already just ruined their country with bombs and stole their natural resources, and now they're desperate. That's usually what happens. We're not desperate. We're the richest country in the world. We're surrounded by water and friendly neighbors on north and south. We got nothing to worry about over here. And what do? We go and spread murder and rape and torture and child trafficking around the world, and nobody gets prosecuted. But we're angry at Trump. We are really angry at Trump. According to a U.S. diplomatic cable written on April 17th, 2009, the Association for the Dignity of Spanish Prisoners requested that the National Court indict 6 former United States officials for creating a legal framework that allegedly permitted torture against 5 Spanish prisoners at Guantanamo. Other countries have way more integrity than we do on this. We have none, by the way. We run a torture facility in Cuba still. We're still occupying Afghanistan. Been bombing that country for almost 20 fucking years. One of the poorest countries on the face of the earth. We could invest money and help those people, but we'd rather kill them. Because it works. There is an official tally of civilian deaths in Iraq and Afghanistan. Even though the Bush and Obama administration maintained publicly that there was no official count of civilian casualties, the Iraq and Afghanistan war log showed that that claim was false. So you're telling me that George Bush and Barack Obama lied to the American people? I thought we're supposed to be upset when the president lies to us now, right? Everybody's upset because Trump lies. But apparently you can lie about the most important shit in the world, and that's okay, because we like you. If you like President Obama, you won't say anything. We don't like Trump, so everybody's fucking saying everything. And I don't know if you noticed, claim was false. Obama maintained publicly that there was never an official count of civilian casualties, and that claim was false. He lied to you about the fucking war and how many people we were killing there so we could keep killing people. So we could go into Libya. So we could go into Syria. So we could go into Somalia. So we could sell cluster bombs to Saudi Arabia, which is what we do. We manufacture cluster bombs in America, which is a fucking war crime to the rest of the world. Then we sell them to Saudi Arabia so they can drop them on fishing villages in Yemen, the poorest people in the world. That's what we're doing. So you see why they got to shut down this Chelsea Manning. You see, right? Between 2004 and 2009, the United States government counted a total of 109,000 deaths in Iraq. In 5 years, 109,000 deaths. So that's over 20,000 people killed a year. 20,000 people killed a year because of our invasion. 66,081 classified as non-combatants. That's our own numbers. We killed 66,000 men, women, and children. So this means that for every Iraqi death that is classified as a combatant, 2 innocent men, women, and children were also killed. But we're the good guys. We are good people. We had to do this to liberate them. We had to kill 2 women and children for every combatant. That's because that's what they wanted. The Iraqi people wanted us there. Purple finger. They want liberty. That the U.S. military officials withheld information about the indiscriminate killing of Reuters journalists and innocent Iraqi civilians. The collateral murder video released by WikiLeaks depicted the So I'm not going to show this video because it is heart-wrenching. The collateral murder video released by WikiLeaks depicted the indiscriminate slaying of over a dozen people in an Iraqi suburb of New Baghdad, including 2 journalists who work for Reuters. They're shooting, just killing them out of a helicopter. Apache helicopter, just mow them down. And then, when the people when the medical workers came to help those people who were killed, they killed them. That's a war crime. That's called a double tap. Chelsea Manning revealed that. That's what was our national fucking policy. That was our policy. The Reuters news organization has repeatedly been denied in its attempts to obtain the video through the Freedom of Information Act. The video, shot from an Apache helicopter gun sight, clearly shows the unprovoked slaying of a wounded Reuters photographer and his rescuers. 2 young children who were present in the attempted rescue were also seriously wounded. Ethan McCord, a U.S. Army soldier who can be seen in the video carrying wounded children to safety, has said that whoever revealed this video is a hero. And it doesn't bother people in America that we imprison a hero. Because we like Barack Obama, because he's pretty, his wife is pretty, and they have manners. Except they're 100% fucking corrupt. 100% corrupt, Barack Obama. Warmonger, like nobody's got a Peace Prize, and he immediately fucking set the world on fire. Isn't that great? Tortured Chelsea Manning, kept the Guantanamo prison open, ran out of bombs in Syria, fucking did Libya. We're back in Iraq. He's bombing in Somalia, selling cluster bombs to Saudi Arabia. Chelsea Manning's a hero. And yet our government imprisons him and no one's got a goddamn problem with it. Where's your fucking protest for that? You want to protest Trump's tax returns? How about you protest this, get your head out of your ass? An internal U.S. military investigation concluded that the incident was consistent with the military's rules of engagement. So we show a video that to any normal human being makes you throw up literally. I remember I saw that video, it wrecked me. It wrecked me. I didn't want to go out of the house. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know what to say to people. I don't know what kind of fucking world are we living in? Here's what else Chelsea Manning revealed. That the State Department backed corporate opposition to a Haitian minimum wage law. The poorest people in the hemisphere. Our government used its power to fuck them over. For what? So a corporation could make more money. That's what we do. That's the whole point of our foreign policy. I don't know if you know this. The whole point of the United States foreign policy always has been to extract natural resources from poorer countries at the point of a gun. Leaked diplomatic cables show that in 2009, the U.S. Embassy in Port-au-Prince pushed then Haitian President René Préval to come out in support of a powerful textile manufacturers who sought to block a popular minimum wage increase. These factory owners who produce apparel for large brands like Nike and Nautica had benefited from recent free trade agreements that had severely lowered wages and working conditions in Haiti. A series of cables show that the U.S. Embassy closely monitored the movements and activities of student protesters supporting the $5 a day minimum wage bill. $5 a day minimum wage bill. And Hillary Clinton screwed them over on it. The bill's supporters had argued that the increase was justified in light of rising inflation and food costs that had led to widespread fucking starvation. According to the leaked cables, the U.S. delegation dismissed the proposed minimum wage increases as nothing more than a populist measure aimed at appeasing, quote, the unemployed and underpaid masses. Yeah, the masses. They're underpaid. Fuck them. They're the masses. They're underpaid. They got no power. That's what that says. They got no power. We have power. So what do? We use it to exploit the people without power for another nickel for a guy who doesn't need it. It's not like, if we screw over the Haitians and screw them out of $5 a day. If we do that, we'll be able to cure cancer. I'm like, okay. We do that, and what do we get for it? Some jagoff who owns Nike gets another fucking nickel. Known Egyptian torturers received training from the FBI in Quantico, Virginia. According to a leaked diplomatic cable from Cairo, the head of Egypt's notorious State Security Investigation Service, SSIS, thanked FBI Deputy Director John Pistoli for the excellent and strong cooperation between the two agencies. In particular, the FBI training sessions in Quantico, Virginia were of great benefit to his interrogators. Another cable documented what the U.S. Embassy considered, quote, credible allegations of human rights violations by the SSIS, including torturing prisoners with electric shocks, sleep deprivation to reduce them to a zombie state. So we're training guys how to torture people. Now, not only do we torture people, we import people, train them how to be fucking monsters, and then we export them. That's what we do now. Cuba exports doctors around the world. We export torturers. That's our country. Sick to its core. The State Department authorized the theft of UN Secretary General's DNA. According to the National Human Collective Directive, A secret document that was signed by Secretary of State Hillary Clinton and published by WikiLeaks, U.S. diplomats were authorized to collect biometric and other sensitive information from top UN officials as well as UN representatives from other nations. The leaked documents show that biometric data specifically included samples of the officials' DNA, among other forms of personally identifying information. They also ordered diplomats to collect credit card information and secure passwords. These activities contravene the 1946 UN Convention. So we're breaking again the UN conventions again. The Obama administration allowed Yemen's president to cover up a secret U.S. drone bombing campaign. Barack Obama would never lie. He's not corrupt. Right? We don't need to investigate Barack Obama. We need to investigate Trump. Since December 2009, President Obama has authorized a secret drone bombing campaign in Yemen. A year later, WikiLeaks revealed that Yemen's president Salih had agreed that his regime would, quote, continue saying the bombs are ours and not yours. These drone strikes have killed large numbers of civilians. So we're killing civilians in someone else's country. Because we're good people. Remember, when ISIS does it, they're horrible. They're the worst. When we do it at the behest of oil companies, it's because we're good Christians. We're doing it with good Christian bombs manufactured in a Christian factory. And when those bombs drop, they don't actually hurt anyone. They dodge the women and children, and they hug people to death. The drone strikes have killed large numbers of civilians. One of the strikes that occurred shortly before the cable in question was written had killed 55 fucking people. 41 of whom were classified as civilians. 21 of these were goddamn children. So we just kill children all the time. So this idea that we got to go bomb Assad because he gassed children, again, bullshit. Total bullshit. Whatever Assad does, we've done. And we've done it on a massive scale. We killed 21 kids. You remember, did you see those pictures of the babies on the news? No, me neither. And they end the article with this: the liberties of a people never were, nor ever will be, secure when the transactions of their rulers may be concealed from them. And that's from Patrick Henry. So there you go. Any comments from the gallery here?
Okay, I will say when you started to highlight what Chelsea Manning had revealed in the WikiLeaks, I started to look up DynCorp. And their human trafficking and sexual abuses of children. This has been going on for decades.
Yeah.
And they've been hired by our government.
Over and over.
And they're all over the world. And, that we are complicit in all of these crimes against humanity. It's horrible. If you read anything about DynCorp, you just keep going and reading more and more that whistleblowers have come out speaking against DynCorp, and they're still doing business with our government. It's a nightmare. Just looking at this one aspect of what was revealed in WikiLeaks. It's just a mammoth undertaking, and you look at somebody like Chelsea Manning that was in the military, and then finding out and having that discovery of all this horrible shit that we're doing, and then has the courage to reveal it and then suffer for it. It's unimaginable what Chelsea has gone through.
She just revealed that the United States is just as sick as anybody else we point our finger at. Anybody else, we're living in the middle of the world is on fire, and who set it on fire? We did. The goddamn United States, Afghanistan, Iraq, fucking Libya, Syria, Somalia, Yemen. Look what we did to Honduras. Look what we did to the people in Haiti. And we've been doing this forever. Read the Banana Wars. Read the Confessions of an Economic Hitman. Read Smedley Butler. I mean, this isn't new. This is what the United States does. The United States kills poor people And then we steal their natural resources and give it to a corporation, and we call ourselves Christian. So there you go. Good on you. Good on you, Chelsea Manning. And I look forward to a long life for you of telling the truth.